Hello everyone and welcome back here for another Tech or Wednesday and Wednesday actually. This is the new format where we actually analyze Bitcoin and Ethereum and we see the entry and the take profit prices all together with the possibility for you to make requests for your altcoins and so on. So here let's start with Bitcoin. Sorry for the we are here. The last time we stopped that we were at this point right here, and in fact we were actually analyzing the chart and seeing that the possibility where that this trend line right here was making a resistance. And so we started thinking about new entries. So we got this first entry from that moment right there. We got the first entry and we got the second one right here on the EMA, and the third one on the 100 D EMA and 200 SMA. So we got 3 entries, and now we should take in consideration what the take profit are. Obviously, as I already said multiple times, if this entry you got the entries, you should think about to start selling at the same entries you got, because those levels are actually still good in the coming days if you follow, obviously, if you follow the rules. In this case, if you follow the 100 EMA and 200 SMA and so on, and you analyze this kind of events like the 12 weekly EMA, and they're moving on the chart. So in this case, you got the first 3 entries, so you probably should have sold here and here, and you now would have got, with only this entry, if you sold everything right here, you will got 5% on your trade in a matter of what, let's say this is Friday, so when you got it in Friday 18, in all across the weekend without you doing nothing actually, and this is actually good in my opinion. So let's see if the entries are still there. And let's start from the first entry. We got this first entry as per the price action with the candles, probably because I didn't write anything more than that. So let's see if it's still viable. It's still good, more or less. That entry is still more or less good, and in fact we got to this point where we sold perfectly that entry. Now let's see if the 12 weekly EMA is still there. So let's get into the weekly chart. Let's see with the help of our weekly. So the 12 EMA, we got this points right here because it was a little bit higher than the 12 EMA, but we did touch it anyway on the way down, and in fact we got this liquidity level from this that was more or less in price with the 12 EMA, but also with these candles right here on the daily chart, it seems like. And as well with the 12 EMA, this was the liquidity area, the demand area that we are in this week. So if everything goes right, we can see some kind of price appreciation next. But let's see what kind of price action we have on the weekly before doing anything. And in fact, what I see right here is something like this. Let's get this and let's see if it's possible for us to take this kind of chart to this level right here, and we see if if I don't like this kind of trend line actually, but you see it touches 1, 2 and 3 points. I don't really much likely like this, and still we have some kind of hole here for the next week. I don't really like this trend line, so let's get it off. We were just trying and see if it would fit, but it didn't. So in this case, 12 EMA is this yellow line is at 26.8. So more or less where we are right now, actually a little bit below. So if we stay below the 12 EMA, that means short-term price action, very short-term price action, because it's the fastest EMA you could watch on the weekly. Maybe the 7 is another one that is still more shorter as a term of investment or trading, but more or less there. Let's see if we can manage to move it somewhere else, but I think this is good. It's still good because the 12 EMA is still there, so I don't see why changing the entries or the take profit. In this case, this will become take profit as time goes on because we are actually below. So if you took advantage of this entry right here, this will be a take profit, and we'll change we are going to change the green lines and the style right here on the green side, so we know that this is now an entry. The style and the text on green. So we got these entries, and they are still good. They are still good. And now they became the TP. So this is the price action TP is the second, because we are at this level 12 EMA 12W EMA TP zone, because all this zone right here is the liquidity area as well. So let's see next. Let's get this a little bit more advanced to see if it still fits. And here we have the 100D EMA and 200 SMA. So let's see, 200 SMA on the daily. And where is the 200 SMA here? 22.4 is there. So 200 SMA on the weekly, 100 EMA, yeah, and 200 SMA on the weekly, 200 weekly SMA. And so the 200 SMA this week is a little bit higher. It's at 26.2, but 26.3 is a little bit too low, because you must take into account that people will enter $100 or $200 more to the upside if they want to enter, and the 100D EMA is the same, so we must take into account this change and maybe put it in another zone, watching the price action of the candles in this zone that we don't have. So kindly watching what could be the next point of entry, and in this case I will let that here on this last candle on the daily chart. Let's see on the 4-hour chart if there is more. No, there is a little bit more candles touching there, so probably a little bit higher like that would be great. And so this is the other entry. We could take in consideration if we get to touch it again, because we did touch it on the 4-hour chart lately, so we should if we get below that, is still a good zone to re-enter, because as you see, we gone through that. You know what's the fact that still don't make me like this chart right here is like the fib retracement level. You see here, for example, if we get a Fibonacci level, we got from 0 to 0.618, but we didn't manage to go through the 0.786, and that means, in my opinion, that we are still in for a bear flag on the 4-hour chart, and the bear flag could lead us idly below again from the price action perspective. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But let's not get too much things into the chart right now, and let's get to the other entry before getting late with this. So 200 weekly EMA. 200 weekly EMA is more or less the same it was the last week. It changed like $15. Okay, so let's get it a little bit higher. In my opinion, will be a little bit great than this, because of the fact that you should enter. But still, 200 weekly EMA is the last point of resort. Something like this could actually be better instead of the 200 weekly EMA. So we'll get a new one right here. But before anything else, let's get a little bit higher. This 25.424 and something like more or less here as another possible entry. So the text is green, the style is red. Yeah. Another possibility is the 50 weekly EMA. In this case right here, 50 weekly EMA, but let's see on the daily chart if we have more information about the candles themselves. It's more or less right. Yeah, more or less. If we get to the another level, and probably not these levels again, then we could touch that. That's probable. Let's get this right here and the 200 weekly EMA right here. Even though we have this daily 200 EMA that is still growing, it's at 24.8, and will grow in the next few days. So probably the last time we spoke, it was at 24.7. Today is 24.85. So it grew $250. Maybe in a week it will grow $250 more, and we'll get to the 25k level. So if we get to the 25.4 to enter, we are probably safe to enter if we have to enter it. And here are the entries, and the TPs are these still. Let's see if the second TP we got to the it was short term. If we got through the roof right here, was this the 200 the second TP was the 200 EMA from the 4-hour chart, and the 200 EMA got more or less here. So we can actually get this out. Maybe we'll see if there is something more on the daily chart, but I don't see that much. Probably the 50 is another TP, so 50 SMA 50 DSMA TP. So let's follow through from now on, because this is slow in comparison to the 4-hour chart that was a short-term take profit that we put into the chart last week. And here was another TP based on other things. So let's get into all the indicators that I have. to see if everything seems correct to me. Yeah, the Bollinger Bands are slowly getting here. If they manage to get here, this will be even greater. But at this point, the 50 weekly EMA, I will put it right here, because the lower Bollinger Bands are there, and I like to have my entries at the Bollinger Bands as well. So in this case, on the daily chart anyway, and a lower TP daily. Okay, so the first TP and the 50D SMA, yeah, that's good. Price action TP and also 50D EMA. Okay, and here is another TP. That's okay. The upper Bollinger Band TPD chart is still there, more or less. So you see yourself that's still here. So you have to follow through that. The other TP right here, almost last TP. Let's say almost last TP. Is still there for the price action candles, but there isn't pretty much there. It's just price action candles. Yeah, for our chart, nothing more than that. Nothing more than price action candles there. And anyway, if we manage to go, and let's get all this out. If we manage to get through this trend line, this blue trend line right here, and we get to this point where, let's get this out, we probably get to these levels of TPs as well. You see yourself, this is the amount. So we will get, if we want to enter, let's make an example that if we want to enter right here, we'll get, and we want to take profit right here on the upper Bollinger Bands. In this case, it's 15% profit, and you probably wait for something like this, probably 1 month, something like this on the 4-hour chart, to take this amount of profit on your trading. But I do this kind of trading on, I would like to take like more, if I am a day trader, I would like to take something like this better, like 5%, and maybe in, I don't know, in like other week, in a week, in 3-4 days or so. That could be better. It depends on your trade options and what you like more. Obviously, none of you here ideas right here is financial advice, guys and girls, because I'm just giving you the possibility to see how a trading strategy is done, and where to enter and how to enter in any case. It's just educational purpose content, maybe to get you rich if possible. The more you get rich, the better I am with my life and with what I've done in life. So here, let's get into Ethereum. Last week we got this kind of candle right here, the second one, and we put in let's get this out anyway as of right now, or let's take it for now, the Fibonacci, and let's wait, because maybe we used it for some entry. From there we got 1, 2, and 3 entries. This entry, the third one, was at the dollar value. As you see right here, we put the cents wasn't meant to be there. Actually, I was talking about getting a little bit higher from there. So you probably entered if you followed my my advice, not financial advice as always. And we got the dollar value. In fact, this low is 1737.76, and we got the entry at 1737.73. So 3 cents of difference, and I must say, I was saying to get in higher, so we got it at dollar value, and that's actually great. It doesn't happen really much. And in this case, we did a correct on technical analysis. even because we got free entries. That's great for anybody. Even if you see you see yourself, if you enter right here and you exited right here, you put in 2 days and a third to get a 5% in 2 days. 5% on if you get 100k in, you get out with 105k, so you get 5k in 2.3 days. And in my opinion, that's wonderful. And here, let's see the entries for our Bollinger entry. So let's get in the Bollinger Bands, and it was in fact a good entry for starters, but it isn't anymore. If you want to take profit on this, let's get for our Bollinger TP, for example. If you want to take profit on Bollinger Bands next, I don't think we'll go there. So it depends on where you entered. I will if you entered right here, probably you will like to exit some kind of levels next. If you enter right here, you will like to have a little bit of, it depends on your profit and your pips. If you entered somewhere here on the lower Bollinger Bands, you will like to make a scalping. That is the point, but we are not talking about scalping. So we get out the 4 hour Bollinger Bands, take profit right here, and we may think about this, the daily middle Bollinger take profit in this case. And you know why the middle Bollinger Band? Because I don't think the price action is actually bullish, but never know. 25k for Bitcoin is a good entry actually, because of the short-term order last price and so on, but here we don't have that kind of analysis, so we should take in consideration this technical analysis. The 100D EMA entry, let's see that it was right here. It was right here. The 100D EMA entry was right there. Let's see if it's still good. In this case, let's getting a little bit higher. Let's see. Here is better. In my opinion, this is better because it's probably going to be a good entry in the, if we have to get to the 100 EMA. But in the case, just in case we got to that level, I will say that this is good. You see, this is the openings, this is the close. We got these twos. We got some candles that get up and down from it very fast, and every time we touch it, it seems like we get rejected in some way, and even here and here and here. So this is, in my opinion, is good as an entry. And this is the other one. We saw 0.382 still there, in fact, still good with the PA, and I will say to take this a little bit above now, because you know we got this low levels, probably a little bit even higher, because you see this is the price action, so you want to enter right here to be sure. You should take into account that this is the support, but this is the entry I will make if I get to choose to enter on the 0.382 and watching the PA myself. So this I will suggest if you were my brother as well. And here is another 200, and the second was the 200 EMA. So this becomes the first entry. This become the TP, the entry, still the entry right there. So it's not really the first, but it's an entry. second entry, and this is becoming the third on the 200, and the last entry, let's see, this was price action chart, obviously. That's a price action entry, yeah, on the weekly almost, but you see this is 0.5, so the last entry is still good. 0.5 Fibonacci, and 200 weekly EMA. It's still good because you see right here we have the 200 weekly EMA right here, and we have the 0.5 Fibonacci level. So if we stay a little bit above that, and we may manage to get above all the price action levels that we have. In this case, what I can see here is that this level is some kind of good for people to on the weekly, but let's see on the daily chart as well. In fact, yeah, this is more or less the point where in fact we had these candles right here blocked this this close, and so on. So yeah, this is a good level to stand by for the last entry. I don't think we'll get much below here. Probably if we have to, we'll get to the point where more or less we touch this line right here and we touch the 200 the SMA, but still I don't think so. I don't think now we'll get there. We are too high, we are too extended to something like that to happen. We should really much destroy all this good, because it's a good price action here. It's a good construction, and I don't think we'll lose that. But still, a little bearish on the shorter term for a little bit of entries. Probably the first and the second could be hit, and maybe the third in the last cases. I don't think we'll get to the last entry, but in the case we have it. So let's see the take profit, the daily middle Bollinger Bands we have right here. Let's get all the things out. So daily middle Bollinger Bands is still good because there is also the middle RSI right here, and there is the 26 EMA as well. So there is a lot of resistance right here. 26 SMA, 26 EMA, middle RSI, middle Bollinger Bands. All of those are there, and so I guess we should take profit more or less right here, because in 1 day or 2 days they will bring the value down, and there will be confluence with the 50 probably here. So if we get here and we exit here, we'll get 3% more or less, like a scalping. But if you do it in 1 day, 3% in 1 day is really good. In my opinion, is my trading strategies, and for the short term, obviously still trading. So get your thing together. In this case, with your strategy, and yeah, this is most likely it. I don't have the time to take the middle BD RSI 50 RSI 26 SMA and EMA, and I don't know, 50 EMA D, or all D DMA DMA. Okay, 50 RSI D, 50 D RSI D middle Bollinger Band, all D. This is practically the best exit you will have with all this confluence of these metrics right here. And the other TP, this was the TP on the shorter term side. We can change this and we can put it somewhere else, I guess. Another TP. With all the confluence we have on this side, if we get through and we get to the 0.236, a little bit below So TP2 is 50 the SMA and 0.23 SIB. Okay, so this is the other one that I will make as a take profit on the daily, because it's more or less a little bit below, will be great here. And let's see with the price action candles. Yeah, I like this better right here, because there is also on the 4-hour chart confluence with the RSI on overbought and so on. So that's greater than the one before. So let's take into account maybe TP2 price action candles. In this case, let's get this one down here, and let's get to the TP3 up BBD, TP2 daily up BB. That's almost everything, plus price action candles as always, more or less there. I should take into account this if I were you. And the last TP I will make in the case we break through that and we get to this kind of price action again. Let's get something in another way here. Let's see if we can put a trend line right here, like we did on Bitcoin, for example. In this case, we can see that if we break through here, more or less what happens when we break through a trend line like this is that we make the 50% of the trend line. So if the trend line is like, to make an example, if the trend line goes from 2k to 1k, for example, you get to 1.5k, that is the middle, if you break to the upside. And in this case, the half of the trend line is more or less here, so we'll probably get a little bit higher. And so probably here with the Fibonacci levels we have, let's get this Fibonacci out, please. And let's see, to the upside, and let's get this out as well. I don't get, it's to the downside here, but probably this is the TP. Let me take a Fibonacci retracement level as well. What? What? Fibonacci retracement level. Thanks. Let's get from let's get it from here to here, and here, and see where it goes. 0.886 is that the level we want to see. I like that because it's seemingly it is seemingly like the upper Bollinger Bands on the weekly chart as well. So upper ball W, as we already said, plus 0.886 on the weekly fib. And so these are the levels for this week. I will share the chart with people in general, but if you have any question, if you have any request, I'm still here. This is more or less all I had to do with you. I hope you guys enjoyed this content and I hope you learned something. As always, I wish you the best things in life. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Telegram, TikTok, and obviously on YouTube. And if you want to know more about this kind of price action, take profit, and entries, and how to take them, how to assess when it's time to enter really easily, in fact with 3 instruments. But if you want to have more instruments, you can follow my technical analysis course on ChainLog, and maybe reach out to me. We see if we can manage a one-on-one learning and so on, if you don't get the video course. So I'm open to discuss of every and single things on Telegram. Let's get in touch, and we'll see you guys and girls in the next time.